Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with everything Steelers. But let's get rolling. As we missed on Jair, but the rumors around Jalen Ramsey are really twirling now. Since last Thursday, Jalen Ramsey, the speculation has been going crazy of him going to the Steelers. Let's be honest. Jalen Ramsey, lockdown corner, ever since he's come into the league, he's been that guy. He's never, it feels like, had a bad season. I know he hasn't been in the headlines much the previous couple years, but that's just because his temper has kind of mellowed out as he becomes a veteran in this league. Early on in his career, he was a big headline guy because of some of the more temper flaring moments on the field and off the field. But now he's quieted down, and bringing him to the Steelers doesn't sound like an awful idea, as in April, yeah, him and the Dolphins came to an agreement for seeking a trade option for him. We were one of the names in there for a while, but I always kind of thought it was going to be the Rams he was going to because he was practicing in UCLA. He was over there. He's already been on the team before, but Sean McVay has confirmed there's obstacles to bringing him in. So this could be the deal. We missed out on a shutdown corner in Jair Alexander. I know we brought in Darius Slay. Darius Slay's pretty old, and you don't want that dramatic fall off to happen this season and us be stuck with one like premier cornerback, and we're just filling in our cornerback two position as it goes week by week. So bring in a steady, stable guy like Jalen Ramsey. We got a whole bunch of third round picks this year. We got 3 third round picks. Use it to secure a player this year. If we're gonna go all in, and the signs point that we're trying to at least win this season, win something this season, we're always aiming for the Super Bowl. The standard is the standard. As Mike Tomlin has said many a times, we signed Aaron Rodgers. That means we're trying to compete for a Super Bowl. We brought in a quarterback. We're not tanking this year. We're we're not a tanking organization. That's not what we do. That's not the Steelers' motto. We're looking to win the Super Bowl. Go out and secure a second lockdown corner. I mean, this would be cornerback number one as soon as you bring Jalen Ramsey in, and then JPJ can match up against the other team's number twos every week, or you can have them stick to whatever side they both favor. But this guy, Jalen Ramsey, is as steady as it gets. He's good in the run game too. Great tackler. It's a hit. Like, just bring in Jalen Ramsey once again. A lot of third round picks, 3 third round picks. We got Dallas's pick, we got a compensation pick, and we got our normal third round pick wherever we draft. But you can use one of those to flip for value, and we also got a whole buttload of later round picks in next year's draft. We have over 10 picks in next year's draft, so you can use it as capital to obtain someone like Ramsey. It would have been nice to not use any of the assets just yet in a trade, but we missed out on that opportunity, letting Jair sign with the Ravens and make their secondary better. We need to bring in a cornerback because just look at the Bengals. You got T. Higgins, you got Jamar Chase. I don't know if Darius Slay really has it in him to keep up with either of those two. But let's move on to some PFF rankings, as there's some good and some bad in the PFF rankings I just saw. As we'll start with the good. PJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, best rush duo in the league. They graded it out. Uh, Clearly, in my opinion, I mean, these two, let's just the stats in total. Like, these two in a single season can put up 30 plus sacks combined. Some teams don't even hit the 30 plus sack mark in seasons, so that's ridiculous to begin with. TJ Watt in the last 5 years has led the league in sacks in total, 68 and a half total sacks. And if you add Alex's Highsmith's 35 and a half, that's over 100 sacks from 2 players in 5 years. That's absurd numbers. You can't beat it. You can't beat the production on the field from these 2, especially when they're healthy together. As long as they're healthy and on the field together, they're the most lethal threat on any defense out there in the league right now. Also, another big part of their game, the fumble Rooney, the fumble Rooski. TJ's forced 18. Alex Highsmith contributes to a third of their total together with the 9. So bringing it to 27 total fumbles over the past 5 seasons. That's a high mark of fumbles. Like, you don't see turnovers like that happen much. TJ Watt's basically perfected the peanut punch at this point in his career. And Alex Highsmith, when he gets to the quarterback, is always looking to rip that ball away. But let's move on to a little bit of the bad stuff that PFF had to say after we had to show some praise to the Goats, going from number 1 to number 29, as PFF ranked us the 29th best receiving room. And that hurts to say for sure, but can we really blame them? Now, we did go out and trade for the star wide receiver in DK Metcalf, a solidified number 1 receiver in this league over the past couple years, but we also gave up someone who was blossoming into potentially one of the best wide receivers in the league. So you're giving up your young star for an older star who could be reaching the plateau here soon, whereas George Pickens is only going to continue to develop, and I think he's really going to ball out next year in that Dallas Cowboys offense, especially being the number 2 to CD Lamb. But that is our big question since giving up George Pickens. We don't really have answers at number 2 right now. Slated to be Calvin Alston, and I've been I've been ragging on Alston for a little bit too much. I just don't think he has the size. That's what we're going to keep it at in today's video. I just don't think he has the height to be an outside wide receiver. A lot of question marks at that position for me, really. And it seems like around the media world is questions around who else is going to get the job done besides DK Metcalf for the Steelers. Now you do got our tight ends, but they don't count one grade in the receiver room. Roman Wilson, you don't really know what you have there either just yet. You find out when preseason starts, and then you'll really find out when the regular season hits. Robert Woods, I think, is also over the hill at this point in his career. I think he was more brought in to be a veteran presence for this team. But since it's been so bad, let me try to make a case for this offense because the offense has been receiving a lot of slander as of recent. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. There's questions around the offense. We brought in Aaron Rodgers, 41-year-old quarterback. The receiving room is, besides DK Metcalf, who's going to be that next guy up? Who's going to be the star there? Running back, can Jalen Warren be a number 1, get number 1 reps? And how will Caleb Johnson perform in his rookie season? A lot of question marks across this offense. But the thing that gives you hope is our offensive line is supposed to be the best offensive line unit, not for us. Like, just the best unit for us is our offensive line room. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, I messed up a little bit. But offensive line room's our best unit for us. With the tight ends, I would say our tight end room grades better, but they gave Freiermuth to 22. But offensive line, best unit. Uh, that's actually very key. This is what every offensive line room's gonna say, but I have to say, we got the number 3 ranked center last year, and he was a rookie in Zach Frazier. All the question marks are around our tackle positions. I know those are 2 key positions to the offensive line, especially when it comes to the pass game. But Troy Fautanu, you didn't see him play last year. He was really good in college, and offensive lines youth play usually transfers over pretty consistently from college to the pros, especially when you play for such a big college like Notre Dame. But Fatanu, I think, is going to plug in nice at the right tackle position and have a solid season. Roger Jones is the bigger question mark, but he's a young, developing player, like a lot of the players on this offensive line. Not a lot of them have over 3 years experience, but a lot of them have come and worked together for a while now. So hopefully just the connections between everyone kind of blossoms this year and you can see the development in all the young players. And if they can just hold the front line for Aaron Rodgers, we know Rodgers can throw accurate passes when he is not pressured. So If the offensive line can just give him about 2.5 to 3 seconds every play, I will I think the offense will work wonders. It will open up the pass game. You just gotta get it in the playmakers' hands. You've seen DK Metcalf make plays with the ball in his hand. You get him the ball, he's liable to do anything with it. Calvin Austin, once again, you get the ball in his hands, you see what he can do on punt returns with a little bit of open space. He's explosive. Roman Wilson, explosive in college, playmaker in college. So you give Rodgers the time, he will be able to accurately find our receivers, and they'll be able to extend plays, hopefully. A lot of rack this year, I would hope so. I'm thinking the strategy is going to be a lot of short routes to start the season, kind of get Aaron Rodgers in a nice form before we start taking the top off, and then it's game over for everyone. And then the run lanes open up, and Jalen Warren and Caleb Johnson can eat. All I'm saying, it really depends upon this offensive line. If you have a good to great offensive line, it makes the whole offense go way better and work way smoother. So if the young offensive line continues to develop, I think this offense can actually kind of be a threat, middle of the pack. I don't think we're ever going to be a top 5 offense this year, but we can definitely be like number 15 instead of 28 once again. But that has been it from Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.